The mighty American iron and steel industry that cast the machines which carried the United States through the Industrial Revolution and forged the nation into the preeminent world power of today can trace its origins back to small backyard forges in the 18th century. By 1750, every colony north of Virginia was dotted with small ironworks. At the center of the colonial iron industry was Pennsylvania, with over 70 iron plantations, company towns dedicated to the manufacture of iron products. Skilled craftsmen turned iron into hardware items equal to any in the world: scythes, pots, knives, axes, kettles, and perhaps most importantly, rifles. Long rifles that would be put into the hands of every frontiersman to defend his land from Indian attack, and every Minuteman to wage war on the British. From the inception of the colonies, the need to provide their own industry was a characteristic of the American experience. Leaders realized the colonies needed to be independent of the mother country, and one way to do this was the manufacture of ironware. Early on, the Massachusetts colony paid a bounty for the discovery of iron ore. However, it was the building of a forge in 1716 in the iron-rich Schuylkill Valley of Pennsylvania that would mark the true beginnings of the American iron industry. Here existed abundant iron ore, water, and timber to fuel the furnaces of iron manufacture. From the British perspective, the manufacturing of iron into useful products was not the way colonial trade should work. The colonies were supposed to send raw materials to the mother country in exchange for manufactured goods. Only now, they were creating finished iron goods, not only for themselves, but also for world export. The result was the idling of thousands of British iron workers. Consequently, in 1750, Britain's Parliament passed the Iron Act, which essentially forbid the building of new iron forges in the colonies, while at the same time encouraging the export of pig iron to Britain. The act was doomed to failure, especially since the British would soon rely heavily upon American manufacture during the French and Indian War. But the act pointed out the growing separation of interest between the colonies and Britain. In the last part of the 18th century, the Delaware Valley in Pennsylvania became the richest manufacturing center in North America. Although nearly all the colonies had manufactures of some kind, Pennsylvania's Delaware Valley, because of the abundance of iron and coal, outstripped the others with their production. The label "land of opportunity" might seem a trite phrase to those of us looking back 300 years, but the greatest industrial nation on the planet rose above the manufactures of Britain and Europe exactly because opportunity did exist in this wild, untamed land of the 18th century. In the next century, that opportunity would be exploited by men like Andrew Carnegie, who organized steel production into a monopoly that became the foundation of American industry well into the 20th century, driving the economy in everything from transportation to manufacturing. In the 21st century, it is humbling and informative to note that America's vast fortune and industrial might descended from small backyard forges and furnaces 300 years ago.